what I really wanted to ask you about, since you're the mega pro when it comes to this type of
You keep
situation.
saying that.
You're the pro when it comes to this. But what I really want to ask you about is, trading in general. You know,
Yeah.
um, for me, I have a mixed feeling about it when it comes to trading in video games, because I feel like on one side, I feel like it's a way for people to quickly skip and bypass everything that everybody else struggled for.
Hmm.
And on the other hand, I'm like, you know what? If I'm new to the game and I'm struggling really hard, and my friend who's been playing a long time give me this armor piece, you know,
Hmm.
it can
No.
really be useful. Not that I'm going to skip it. However, is that fear that
Yeah.
somebody will abuse it. So, like, what are your thoughts on trading in video games in general?
Oh, it's kind of it's technically like a personal preference at the end of the day. Like it's some people like to grind and some people want to do the skip. And the reason why they want to skip all that progress is because they know how much of a grind it actually is. So they just want to get the stuff and continue about their business.
Mm-hmm.
In Warframe now, it's kind of like it depends on who you ask. There'll be guys that will go my route, but at the end of the day, I'll be telling people you can't really do what I did because this was like before the whole relics coming into the game and all of that versus how it was back in the day with keys.
Oh yeah,
So it's like, you have to find another avenue to get to where I'm at if you want to go that route.
that's true.
But now, when you have relics in the game, you get to influence as far as, you can get a part much more easier. The value for it slightly drops. So you're not going to get as much for it, but also you add Rivens to the equation. Now, the trade is dominant Rivens. If you don't have a Riven, nobody's going to bother with you for the most part. That's
Yeah,
just what it is.
yeah, that's the messed up part. Like, I have a whole bunch of prime stuff that I can't even sell because all the entire trade chat, they might as well just turn it into a Riven, trade system and just separate it.
Just separate.
Yeah. But yeah, that is good to hear your some of your perspective from it. Like, do you think, like, in gaming in general, do you think it benefits like the ecosystem, like for some games that have PvP or some games that is just solely PvE? Do you think trading still holds the same value in a PvE game versus a PvP, kind of game?
Uh, it kind of still holds weight because depending on who you ask at the end of the day, you always run into that somebody that'll be like, you know what, let me go in the tree and see if I can get this for whatever, whether if it's for the low or for the high. It depends on how bad the person wants it or how quick the person wants it. And even just in this game where it was like me and Neo Ness, we were like the two guys that were pushing for like a filter system where it makes it that much easier for guys to just go in and out.
Yeah.
Because it was not that long ago where I talked about it on my stream where I told people, I was like, look, I made a video a couple years ago where I showed people in its entirety raw footage of how the trade is, where you will spend, like, depending on if it's 30 minutes, 45 minutes, or like an hour plus in the trade
Oh yeah, I
trying to
remember. I
find
think I
that one
remember.
person.
I remember watching one of those videos. I'm like, man, his patience must be
Yeah,
something else.
yeah, that was my video. And people wanted me to edit it and all that stuff. I'm like, I could have done that, but you wouldn't get the full entirety of how trade chat is.
Hmm.
That's practically what I wanted to show in that long, I think it was like 48-minute video.
It's almost like the stock
Just
market
straight up
where you just
trade.
wait there, just
Yeah, it
man.
is. It is like you can't really BS it, but at that same time, it all comes down to who you run into.
Oh yeah.
This is what it is. It's like you could put something in the chat, and like 5 minutes later, somebody hits you up. That
Have,
damn,
have,
that was fast.
have you ever come across like people who try to swindle you or something like that?
Of course. Like, even at the time where I didn't get to the number that I'm at, there was a person that I thought they had this, and turns out they didn't. And luckily for me, I didn't put no platinum down at the time because I used the strategy of I want to see the person put down the part of whatever it is that they have. Yeah. And once they put that down, then I put my plat down. Once I did that, then the trade will go through. But some people, they do the opposite. They put the plat down and then they hit that check mark. Like, oh, okay, let me put this down. Like, can't do that.
so I got one thing, like, because I know even when I asked a lot of people in other communities about this, there's always this heated debate. Okay, and this is the whole pay to win thing. I know a lot of times when we talk pay to win, it's mostly about the developers or the publishers having this crazy cash shop, like, you know, some of the crazy things that I've seen in some games on Steam. You know, we had it in Kurt Spell for a while, where you can literally pay for power. So, like, when it comes to trading, do you what kind of weight do you think it carries when it comes to just regular trading versus it becoming pay to win? Like, how far does it go?
It kind of goes far depending on how long you want it. Do you want to keep on trading to get to the point where you could just buy everything? But even like now in this state where people like saying, yo, you could buy everything in the trade, Kachi. But I'm like, I can, because on my end, I've already maxed out everything. But even if I want to buy everything in trade, it's still not going to hold any weight to me. Versus if somebody has like completely nothing and they want to try and buy their way, I'm like, you really can't, because you really have nothing to either sell, or your best bet is to try and buy platinum just straight off from the store. And I'm like, most people are not even going to be doing that anyway.
Oh yeah.
Then you have some that will be like, okay, I have some platinum, let me buy this and this and this. But at the end of the day, you still got to max out those weapons. Those weapons not going to max out itself.
That's true. That's true.
You still got to do some form of grinding. And even then, for some, they'll be like, oh man, leveling up takes way too long. They gonna still have to buy boosters.
Oh yeah, and even those boosters, depending on like the enemy flow, it might not be even useful.
Exactly. Yep, yeah. And all of that. But people want to try to find different avenues. Like, okay, I could go to Elite Sanctuary Onslaught. Well, you could try that too, but here's another thing there too. Some people only want to do 4 zones.
Yep. Some people will hop out after like the first, you know.
Exactly. And it's still going to take you some time. So the whole pay to win thing, it really depends on the person's situation when it comes to the game.
Oh yeah. Because one of the things that I often tell a lot of people, like, hey, you know what? You got to step outside of that comfort zone of just playing one particular game and try out other games to see how things are really done there. And, you know, a while back, I used to think Warframe trading was, you know, crazy with the Riven Mafia and all that kind of stuff. Even before the Rivens, I thought it was crazy. Then I decided, you know what, I'm going to hop back into the Guild Wars ecosystem and went straight to Guild Wars 2. And I'm telling you, the trade in there is worse than what it is in Warframe. Like, I'm talking about, it is like predatory of the highest order, like literally crazy. You know, it's either you get, you know, you get grabbed by the devs in their cash shop, or you get grabbed by other players. Like, that's how crazy it is. However, you know, in some of the games that I've played, you can literally buy power. And it becomes a situation where, you know, people would get into the game and then 2 months later, they have all the things that you grind 3 years for.
That's what I'm saying, because they went the other route, because they realize how much of a grind it is. So they're like, all right, you know what, the hell with that. I will spend my real money, get all of this, and skip all of that, because it's easy. All you gotta do is just spend a couple of dollars, or not even just dollars, but I mean like $50 or $100. All right, I got all this. Easy.
But the question that I also want to ask is, do you think adding a trade system to, like, let's say a game like Destiny, do you think, you know, just having trade in general, do you think it casualizes certain games to the point where they lose the hardcore part of it, where you have to grind for stuff, versus now where if you have the biggest bank account you can just buy it.
It kind of does, because it gives players another avenue to where it's like, okay, they don't want to grind for it in game, so it's like, you know what, let me go to the trade and get it in an easier way. And when you go into the trade, it's like, okay, you see a person wanting to sell this, you're like, okay, how much is he selling it for? You see the price, you're like, oh damn, you want to try to do the whole negotiating thing. So it's still, you're still playing a game right there, but at the same time you want to get the best offer possible.
Uh-huh.
That will benefit your end. They're like, all right, okay.
Not gonna lie, I've come across some people who don't even negotiate at all. Like, they just like, this is my price and this is final. Like,
because again, they don't want to deal with the whole back and forth thing. I mean, I do the same thing in Warframe too. Like, if I put this down, it's like, I'm not gonna bother with the whole back and forth thing, even though you can negotiate to see where you want to buy as far as within your price range. But I'm like, at this point, I don't particularly care if they want to buy something for me for 20 plat, 10 plat. I just keep it simple. I'm like, if I take it, I don't care, because I can always get it back. I always go in the game and get the shit, and they're like, yo, Kachi gets every damn thing.
I mean,
like,
you've been in
it.
You've been in it for years, so for you, it's it's like chicken change, easy thing, easy route. You know how and when and where to get it. Like,
exactly.
Now, the thing though is, like, you're a veteran in the game and also in the trade. The trade chat. You're very versatile. And I'm sure those skills and negotiating skills will transfer to any game that you play. So what kind of advice would you give to, like, new players who, like, let's say I hopped into any game, or I hopped into Warframe today and I said, oh, trade chat. What would be your first advice to me if I just say, hey, I saw the trade chat? What would you say?
Oh, the first thing, once you see trade chat, first you got to go and see what you have, as far as, do you want to sell or do you want to buy? Of course, most guys, they want to sell what they have. All right, see what you have, know the values of what part you have, and also the sets you have. As far as with Rivens, it all comes down to the stats of a particular weapon. You want to sell something, you just put it in the chat. Here's the next part, and I've always been telling people this. This comes down to patience. You need to be patient. It depends on who you run into, but for the most part, you have to be patient. That's because true. It could be 5 minutes, like, oh snap, I got somebody. Or it could turn into 25 minutes, half an hour, or it could even be close to an hour. Somebody will message you, but it all comes down to you exercising that patience, because you never know who you run into. And I've told so many stories. I'm like, by the time, if I'm done with Warframe, I got so many stories to tell people. They'll be like, bro, I can't believe you went through all of this. But I'm like, dude, for as long as I've been playing, I got so many damn stories. Blind Rage, maxed out, 250. Unranked, overextended, 100 plat. Fleeting expertise, 150. Guys will look at me like, dude, how you are doing this, man? How much patience do you have? That comes to years of just developing patience.
Now, I'll tell you one thing. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I'll tell you one thing that I make mistake of doing. Okay, there are moments when, like, let's say a new item comes in, most especially cosmetics, or let's say a new frame came out and the grind is just so tedious. Like when Nidus came out, I ended up buying it before I was even able to get all the parts. There were situations where I didn't have enough plats, and I was pushed into this mode of desperation where I was like, the price that I gave for the items that I was trying to sell, it kept going down like every 10 minutes. That's just because of how bad I wanted that plan. Like I started out like, oh, this, I'm selling this stuff 500, and then I waited so long, and then I was like, all right, 450, and then after a while, like 300.
Oh.
And I was like, you know what? At this rate, I feel like somebody is watching me out there and waiting for me to drop it down to 50. You know what? I gotta get out of it. I gotta get off of this stuff. Man.
That's how it is, man. Like you'll be surprised. And the thing what I was talking about, like while I was streaming, doing all of that, this wasn't intentional. It just happened. But it's an example as to what I've been doing for so many years. 9 people that was watching my stream, they quit Warframe. Like I looked up their names.
Damn.
Their names don't exist in Warframe anymore. The account gone. Like it's like dead.
Why?
Because when I was doing it in stream, they didn't believe what they were seeing as to what I was doing in trade. I was telling people like, look, these corrupted mods at the time, they have so much weight because there's no other way for you to get it. You can't transmutate it. They drop nowhere else except in the vaults.
Yep.
And at the time, Blind Rage is like, dude, you want that power strength, but at the same time, it's going to cost you efficiency. That's why it's corrupted.
Yeah.
Just like narrow-minded, fleeing expertise.
Oh my god, those were like the godfather of like expensive mods before, because those came out before the primed mods started rolling out like crazy, before all the primed is it primed rage or whatever it is.
Yeah. And it's like back then, those were like the standards where it's like, if you want to get platinum guaranteed, max out one of those mods, put it in the chat. People will message you like crazy because
those are expensive.
Trying to get a Blind Rage in there, ooh. It took so many runs. You'd be like, dude, I can't get a Blind Rage or heavy caliber. But once you got it, you maxed it out. You put that in the trade. That's you get easy 255.
Hell yeah.
Guaranteed.
And depending on the region too, you get more money.
Depending on the region. Ooh.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, I've had moments where I go to a different region, like, you know what, it doesn't seem like people in my region really want to do business. And then I go to Oceania or something, and then they just dropping money at my foot like crazy. I'm like, oh wow.
Yep, that's what I used to do. Like in the middle part of that whole grind that I did, it was like before I hit 100K, I was suggesting to people like, look, you've been in North America, change regions, go to the Europe side. You'll be surprised. Like, man, the Europe side was like the icing on the cake for me. Selling all those Saren sets, all them Trinity sets, 120 each.
That's true.
All them sets, like 120 Saren sets, 120 Trinities. The Sarens were like 400 a pop.
Because come to think of it,
it took me months to get rid of her.
Some of those regions didn't get Warframe till like a later date too.
Exactly. So when you put that out there, be like, oh crap, he has a Saren. He's selling it for this. Let me get on that. Like, oh man. People were asking me like, yo, how much Saren sets you have now? I'm like, I still have 80, bro. If you want this, hit me up. My message thing was popping up like crazy. And when I be going into the dojo, one of my clanmates was like, yo, why are all these people here? Don't worry, they're for me. That's why they're behind me. I dealt with one guy. I said, thank you. Enjoy your Saren. Next. Another guy. Next. It was just crazy.
You were like Santa Claus in there, just like, hey.
Yeah, man. It was a crazy time, but it was awesome because I wanted to get rid of her so bad because I had so many.
But real talk though, like if you're a new player, like what are some of the red flags you gotta look out for? Like when it comes to trading, period.
far as for new players, like you just stay away from the guys that are trying to sell things that are like at least 100 and above, because when you're a new player coming in, you're not gonna have much plat on you anyway. I believe the starter pack gives you like 75 or 80. I'm not even too sure about that.
Yeah, it gives you 75, and you can't trade. I don't.
You
even
can't
think
even
you trade
you
it.
can't even trade that,
Yeah.
use that anyway. So technically you just have 0. That platinum is for you to use personally. And for that, I'll be saying, look, man, buy Warframe slots and weapon slots.
Yep.
Nothing else matters. Because I didn't even start the whole trading thing till I was like mastery rank 14 or 15.
Do you think developers have a hand in trading, like in terms of the economy, like nerfing stuff, buffing stuff to gain money, or to
To an extent, yeah. Because you have to look at it like this, because even in Warframe there was talk about it as well, and you could feel it in the trade as well, because when you have a certain frame or a weapon that's so strong and they see the trade for it, it's straight up crazy booming, but at the same time people can't buy that because, man, it's so damn good, so the value is going to be high. By them tweaking it, nerfing it, or buff, whatever it is that they try to do, it does influence it. Really does, because you have to think of it like this. Look at look at Ash Prime. I'm just gonna use him for his example. His blueprint and his systems, it was so rare. I still remember it right now. His blueprint dropped on rotation C, wave 20 defense.
Yes.
MC trying to get that shit.
Oh yeah, I remember those days.
Yeah, they were talking about too much formers, man. Stop messing with all them formers and shit. Ash was still going for relatively high, but it should have been higher. But the reason why is because the formers kept messing up with the rotation. So what DE decided to do? They started to bring back the formers, make them start dropping less, and influence the chance of people getting Ash blueprint. Now people start getting that Ash blueprint. Get the blueprint, go in the trade, sell that for like 150, 200, boom, happy days.
Oh yeah.
Then the big change that's coming, relics, man. Why you gotta why you gotta go from void keys to relics? Killed Ash's shit right there.
Because I to be honest, I felt like void keys held more value than relics does. Yeah, because with that one key, you could farm to the end of the earth. As the stronger you are, you can go as long as you want to. Versus relics, where it's a one and done thing.
Yeah, but see, the advantage between a relic and the key is that the relics, you can use the traces to influence the chance of you getting that rare part.
Yes, that's true.
And even at the time when they were introducing it, and I still remember the stream when Rebecca was explaining it in its entirety, I said, you were going to kill the value of rare parts with this system.
Oh, yeah.
And lo and behold, I was right.
That's a crazy situation. Now, one thing that I solely despise in any game is whenever a new update comes out, and then you have this new type of resources that you have to grind for to get another form of resources that you needed. A prime example is what we had with Railjack recently. And, every time first of all, when Plains of Eidolon came out, new resources. When Fortuna came out, new resources. They confirmed that they're working on a new open world. And of course, you have the sentient tile sets and all that kind of stuff. So that is a whole bunch of new resources right there. Now, considering that resources can be tradable, do you think that really benefits someone like you who is into the trade system, or do you think it just becomes extra work because of the amount of stuff you got to keep track of?
I'll say it's a little bit of both, but more so it's kind of like extra. It's like kind of like extra work because at the end of the day, when a new resource comes in, you're gonna have to farm for that. But at the same time, I understand it because it's something new, so you can't go use an old resource that you already have in the game. But it's like you brought something new, but we're still using old resources. Like
Yeah.
that's not all that good. Introduce something new with it. You're like, oh, okay, this resource. Okay, where you find this? Oh, yeah, I go this planet. Okay, this particular enemy drops it. Oh, okay, cool.
So
You know,
so so here's the thing too. Like, what do you think about items that you have losing value? Let's say you bought this item for like 1,000 platinum, and then some update happened or something happened, and you didn't get to sell it before it went live, and now it loses value. Like, does it make you mad, or do you just take it as part of the business?
well, if I'm a new player, I would be pissed. On this other side of things, I'm just like neutral at it because at the end of the day, when something new comes in and then they decide, okay, it's gonna be devalued at some point,
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna happen. No matter what it is, it's gonna happen. But as far as if you are a new player and they end up doing this, yeah, you're gonna be pissed because you lost out on a potential. Man, I could have made 1,000 plat, but instead I'm only getting 500 for you. Like, damn.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
because I've been in
it
situations
varies.
where I bought arcanes when they were still like super rare. The raids were still out at that time.
Mhm.
So, the arcanes held a very high value. However, after, raids were removed and, you could get arcanes from killing the Eidolons now, you know, I ended up selling the arcanes that I bought like a whole set for 1,000 plat. I ended up selling some of them a whole set for like 200.
Yeah, that's my point right there. The reason why is because it's easier for players to get them now.
Yeah. And it was kind of hard for me to sell it in the trade chat because I'm looking at it with the eye of this is how much I had to work for the plat that I used to buy it, you
Yeah.
know. And people now are looking at it like I could just go to Plains of Eidolon and grind several hours of this to see if I can get it. So
But that's all it is.
yeah, that was kind of a crazy situation. Now, speaking of speaking of Warframe, and other games, 2020 is here. January is almost over.
Mhm.
Good thing, which means February. Well, we were supposed to get some games in February, but a lot of things are getting, delayed. Now, when they say the god of delays, it's D.
Yep. All of that.
Do you think DE is going to wait till that late in the year window? Because I remember the last time we talked, you basically opened my eyes to some of the reasons why people tend to release games towards the end of the year. You know, when you release something so early, people forget about it. That's if I'm quoting you right. But when you
Yep.
release towards the end of the year, it's still fresh. If we're talking about awards, it's more, you qualify more for awards and all that kind of stuff. So in DE's case, do you think, Empyrean already came out. Do you think New War and Deviri is going to come out this summer, before TennoCon or after TennoCon, or do you think it's going to come out in the fall in the release window for all these other games?
Uh, for DE's sake, because normally they want the game to have huge exposure, and throughout the years, it has that progression. It's gotten that progression. The
Mm-hmm.
problem is that whenever it comes down to late in the year, the whole Game Awards, people are pushing. Even the last one, people were pushing for Warframe. Like, yo, let's get these awards. Let's get popping. Let's get going. It tends to fall short because the times of their release, it's either early or mid time, like around June, July ish.
Yep.
So you might as well say a little bit before TennoCon and a little bit after. Relatively fresh, but at the same time, coming down towards the winter time is where games hit their prime.
Yeah.
The heavy hitters start coming out of the woodworks, like out of nowhere, just coming out. So it's going to be pushing Warframe further back. So by the time it hits Game Awards, people remember those heavy hitting games that be coming out swinging.
Because right
And
now we're at the junction, or let me say the entrance of the next generation of games, which means that fall window is going to be chaotic.
Exactly.
Yeah, that is going to be that's one of my biggest things, because the last time we actually got some updates before TennoCon was I think that was Second Dream.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then after that after that everything else was later on. And then for the past 2 years now, it's always been October, November, December. That window right there.
Yeah.
And considering that, man, this year is a crazy one to begin with.
Yep.
That's gonna be hard. And Rebecca did an interview with GameSpot, and they talked about different things and what they aim to do different this year and all that. Do you think now, as for you, as you're still a Warframe partner, right?
Yeah, I still am.
Do you think it is possible that coming this fall, Warframe will launch on the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X?
It can if they want to, but it wouldn't surprise me if they don't. It wouldn't surprise me, because Warframe, when it comes to their updates, is that you try to anticipate it, but at the same time, it's like,
You don't want to get too high.
I thought it was gonna drop here, but nah, it's gonna be at a later date. You just don't know when, but they're still working on it, and you're like, come on now.
Yeah, like I see a lot of people asking about like cross-play. Like, I hate to have to piggyback to the trading conversation we're talking about. Cross-play, because right now prices on console are so different from PC. Like, it's like a whole different island.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
If cross-play happens and they make trading cross-play as well, do you think that would be a great idea to have a cross-play trading, or do you think they should still keep it separated?
It would be a great thing for PlayStation, but it would be bad for PC. Why? PlayStation 4 will see how it is on the PC side when it comes to trading. It will be bad for PC because they get to see how bad it is as far as with players. Oh man, you want to get this on a low, man. Y'all want everything cheap. Where's the real value in this, and this? And it's gonna mess it up.
Man.
It will get so messed up. And it's like, man, oh crap, I get to play with this guy. It's cool, but something's gonna be damaged. And I know PC is gonna be hurting more than the PS4 side.
Oh yeah. I can already feel it now. And prayers is that when you do cross-play, if there's ever a cross-play trading, there's not a glitch where people lose their platinum or their...
Oh man, if cross-play on trading, oh man, look out. You may as well see like a nuke just drop right off. But as far as with players coming together, playing, I'm on PS4 back to play with PC players, man, cool. But in trading, oh man, go to another region ASAP.
Now, here's the thing. On PC, I've tried to use it once. There are trading forums. What are your thoughts on trading forums?
It's another avenue. I think like a good year ago, and people using different platforms, like either if it's in the forums or certain websites where they could go to and talk to people there when it comes to dealing with trading and stuff. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, it's so flawed and Neil Ness will back me up on this because we talked about it too. You could go in a forum or a website and you could put down, like, for example, Axe the Little Prime. 100 platinum. Leave it there. Then that's like 10, 15 minutes later, reload the page. It goes to 75. Reload it again. 210. It's like, have a clear idea of what Axe the Little Prime price is, because it keeps changing.
I kind of had an experience with that when I forgot, it's this Warframe trading website where you look up prices for mods and prime stuff, and you know, after a while I feel like I was like, you know what, I wouldn't be surprised if the people who run this website work for the Riven Mafia, because they
hey man, I think there's two that I know of that people be using it. And I'm like, bro, I even went there and I'm like, it's straight trash. I don't even use it. Some people use Nexus or Warframe.com.
Warframe trading.
Yeah, Warframe trading. And this is the thing. It says it on the side. We are not affiliated with DE.
Yep.
People use that as reference and be like, yo, I went to Warframe trading, you know, it costs this. I'm like, bro, you're a dumbass. And he's like, why? It says it on the side. We are not affiliated with DE.
Bro, I'm telling you,
that means that site has nothing to do with Digital Extremes.
Bro, I'm telling you, I've been trying to sell stuff, and then people were like, you know, something that was clearly worth 50 platinum, and this dude would be like 15. I'm like, no. It'd be like, well, Warframe trading says. I'm like,
yeah.
Fuck.
I come across those same people. I'm like, you sound literally dumb, man, because it says it right there, and you still trying to run that by me.
Man, that is crazy.
Don't even bother with them sites because it makes no sense. They're not with DE. The only time where there was a site that was affiliated with DE, it was a long time ago. This was the first site where they had instituted when it comes to the trading, where it shows you everything. Like, it has a tab for everything, mods, warframes, parts, everything, and it had a fixed price. The site obviously is not there anymore because, again, it's so outdated, but everything had a fixed price.
Oh yeah,
everyone used that because, in case you didn't know it on the top of your head, you could go to the site and be like, okay, this mod is this monoplat, this part is this Warframe set is this. You know, that was the reference. Now you got these bogus garbage sites putting up all kinds of garbage, and people are like, yo, I went to Warframe trading and, you know, it says 10 plat. This garbage. I'm like, why don't you reload the page and tell me what it says now? Like, wait a minute. Oh, it was just 10, but now I see 30.
Bro, I'm telling you, not gonna lie. I've used it before, and I've been one of those people to say, well, Warframe trading said.
Man, garbage.
So quick question though, like, what do you think of the Riven Mafia? Like, you know, they're this.
Oh man, look. As far as with Rivens, they are my ultimate weakness. I've said it to people, and I'm like, what do you mean by that's your weakness? I will have a comb Riven. Right, this was my first time wanting to sell it because I had this Riven, and it had status, damage, fire rate, and this dude's like, "Oh, you got the comb Riven." I was like, "Yeah." Yo, I want negative reload.
What?
Yo, I said this. I was like, negative. Why you want a negative reload? And my Rivens are mostly positive, but he's like, yo, I want a negative reload speed on the comb. It already has 2.3 reload speed, and you want a negative?
Yeah.
That thing will take at least 4 seconds. By the time you're reloading, you're dead.
Exactly.
And I was like, unless you're using a Harrow outright at the time, because Harrow was like the only frame that you could get away with as far as having negative reload.
Yeah, and
because
all
of his
the
ability.
and the what is it? The augments too. Yeah.
Exactly. I'm like, unless you use it Harrow, fine. But more times than not, I don't see you using Harrow anytime soon. So I don't know why you want a negative reload for.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't stop there. Like there's certain things on just Rivens in general. Like as far as with stats, people just want those. You can have all of the good stuff, but they'll just want that one particular stat. And I'm I can't bother with it. Can't do it.
I know
because I can never sell the shit.
With certain weapons, crit and status is like the go-to. You know, like how much crit do you have? How much status do you have? I know a lot of those did change over the years, though, where people are looking at other stuff.
And
they talked in the latest dev stream. They talked about the exotic trader thing. What is it? Her name? The one on Fortuna. I forgot her name. She's going to be selling some items, and they hope to expand on that later on in the future. Do you like farm planetary stuff as much as you do for like Riven stuff or other trade stuff?
Nowadays, I don't even think about what I be farming. I just be getting it the more I play the game. Because here's the thing, and I've told players this, and they starting to see my point. When you're trying to get something and the game knows you're trying to get something, you ain't gonna get it.
Oh my god! I swear to God, I thought I was the only one who thought that way. I was like,
yo, the game knows. So it's like you gotta go and play Warframe with a clear mind. Don't care what it is you get. Just play the game. You'll be surprised what be dropping.
Yeah, it's like that thing fucks with your mind. It be like, what the hell, man?
Bro, I've been telling people this. They're like, yo, Kachi, you just saying shit. I'm like, bro, I've been playing this game way longer than you probably known about Warframe. I played on PC. I played on PS4. I made the transition. I know what I'm talking about.
Man.
It was to get Rhino Prime Blueprint for the longest time.
Oh, yeah.
I joined him because again it was random. I joined in. They was like, "Oh snap, this Kachi, I know you, bro," and stuff. He's like,
man, I have to say, like gaming so far has been a little bit underwhelming over the past year or so. It hasn't been like really interesting.
Depends on what games you want to play.
Like, cause like for me, like I play mostly sports and racing games and all that kind of stuff. But when it comes to RPG, it's like I always want to find that ultimate RPG. It's like I want a system from Horizon Zero Dawn and this system from Borderlands and that system from Warframe. I guess I have high demands for some of the things.
You just have that high demand where it's like if it's not top tier, you're like you ain't bothering with it. That's what it is. It's like even in the PS3 days, it's like my games are like Uncharted, BioShock, Metal Gear. It's top tier stuff. If it's not, you're like I ain't bothering with it.
Oh yeah,
just what it was.
Yeah. And it's crazy that like back in the day, I used to play a lot of like Call of Duty, but now it's like I don't even enjoy the game anymore.
It's zombies. That's what I do.
Yeah,
I was telling
my favorite
that same thing at work. I'm like, just play Call of Duty Zombies.
Bro, I miss the days where you could play Call of Duty split screen online, bro. that was like the best one game for like you buy 2 items for the price of one. Man, Those were the good old days. Good old days. Now it's like they not having it anymore. You gotta buy 2 copies.
Buy two. Yep. I mean, even that time when they try to put COD 4 and Advanced Warfare together, people are like, "Nah, bro, you can't put COD 4 and Advanced Warfare together. Split those games." Because they combine the things. I'm like, you can't have COD 4 and Advanced Warfare in the same shit. Nah, that's why they had to split it.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I mean, because even if they put it together, they'll probably knowing Activision, they'll probably put some crazy price tag on top of it.
That's what, and people are like, I ain't gonna spend this amount of money when I just want COD 4, because people didn't want to buy Advanced Warfare, they just want COD 4.
Exactly.
So that's just what it is, and that's why it's like, all right, let's split it. You know, COD 4 remastered, Advanced Warfare. People are buying the hell out of COD 4. Advanced Warfare just stayed the same.
I like what Microsoft is doing though with the Halo Master Chief Collection. You know, all their stuff coming to Steam. That was a great move right there. Yeah, that was a really good one.
Yep.
Now, what game are you excited for 2020? Give me 5. No, do I want to say 5? Give me 5 games before we close it out. 5 games that you're excited for in 2020.
Oh, I don't particularly have 5 games. It's only 2 that's in mind right now. I have to really look to see about the other 3, but the only 2 that it's in my mind right now that I know I'm gonna get is Resident Evil 3, and then like around April, May-ish, I think that's when the next one come out, and that's The Last of Us 2.
Oh, okay.
It's like the only 2 games right now that's gonna kick it off for me. Especially Last of Us 2 when I picked that up, because people have been waiting for that shit since the first Last of Us when people beat that.
Oh yeah. Story wise, I really want to see like what is going on, what is gonna happen. Like, I don't know why every time I see a zombie movie, I always like wish that at the end they found a cure somewhere. But
then the whole thing would end.
I guess they want a sequel.
Yep. But see, with The Last of Us 2, it's like now people already know about Joel and, you know, he's there and stuff, but this one is mostly with Ellie because she is now grown. She's mature.
Oh yeah.
And from the first one, she held her own, but it was like, you know, her first go around, she's a little bit rusty, you know.
Oh yeah, she was like this little girl that has. It's kind of like how Clementine, you know, grew over time in the Walking Dead Telltale series. Yeah, that's kind of like how it is. Yeah.
Now in this one, she's more hardcore. You could see it in her face. You could see it in her eyes.
Yeah. And even in some of the gameplay that I saw, she is more mobile than, you know, Joel is kind of like this walking old man, you know, has a different kind of fighting style to him. Yeah. Whereas Ellie is almost like a Tomb Raider-ish type of, you know, thing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that is a good thing. Now, one thing that did come out, I wasn't even going to ask this question, but then I thought about it now that we're talking about PlayStation 4. There's been a Twitter war going on right now. I don't even know if I want to call it war or just a few collective just raging. With PlayStation, with Sony saying, hey, this game's already made more than enough money while they were console exclusives. Now Sony is bringing them to their PC platform. And a lot of people weren't too happy about it. What are your thoughts about this?
I kind of heard about it, to be honest with you, and just the fact that they're bringing it to PC, I think they're just trying to make whatever is left on those exclusives, to be quite honest with you, because if they were struggling to sell those exclusives, then it's like, all right, you know, we need to go a different direction and see where this will take us. But since they have made a whole bunch of money, and it's like, all right, you know, let's squeeze every last bit of it. Let's go to PC and see what we can make out of it. I mean, hey, it's their product. They should know what they're doing with it. I mean, if it was a bad idea, they wouldn't go this route anyway. But it seemed like someone say, it's a decent idea. Let's try this. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, because I to be honest, I also think it could also work in a great way in their favor, considering that some people might play these games and say, "Wow, this is what you guys have been enjoying on the PlayStation.
Yep.
Maybe I should buy a console."
Yeah.
Because the only things they're bringing to the PC platform are the old games. So
Yeah.
we talking about Last of Us 2 right now. If let's say I'm someone who plays solely on console on PC, and then I played Last of Us 2 and I'm Last of Us 1, and I'm like, wow, this is great. I want to see what happens next. But guess what? I can't play it on PC anymore. It's only on console, which means if I love it that much, I will end up buying a PlayStation 5 or a PlayStation 4, whichever one. Yeah. So I say that could be, because I see a lot of people, they were, just like, oh my God, this is a betrayal. PlayStation is this, they're that, speak truth to the power.
Yeah. I mean, that kind of stuff at the end of the day, it's just a matter of them branching out, because if you want your game to be well known, you want it to be on multiple platforms instead of just one.
That's true.
That's probably what it is at the end of the day. Now, I don't even know this to be true, but it wouldn't surprise me. Like, isn't some Mario games on Steam like you could play on PC?
No, not that I know of. Nintendo is the only, like, Nintendo is like the only company right now that is like strong on that exclusivity.
Okay.
And yeah, like, cause yeah, Nintendo they don't like to share their money anywhere else.
Okay, because I mean, as I said, it wouldn't surprise me if like a Mario game or something would be on Steam, because again, it's like they're branching out, they trying to make extra money, or just trying to make more money off of Mario. Like, okay, fine, you just want to branch out. But as far as with PlayStation doing it, I mean, hey,
you gotta get that money.
Exactly.
Hey,
they're just doing what needs to be done on their end.
That's true. That is true. Well, I guess we're at the very end, and I really want to appreciate it and thank you for taking out the time to sit down, listen to my questions, answer questions, have this wonderful conversations. I don't talk to that much people in the gaming community, especially the creator space.
That's cool.
Yeah,
hey,
yeah,
I'm here.
So yeah, it's really good to hear your perspective from it, because when it comes to trading, I had to talk to someone who actually works on the stuff. Not just somebody who hopped into the trade chat 2 months after getting into the game and then they believe they're just the god of it. Yeah, so yeah, that is like, even for myself, like I remember in a while back I would watch on your videos like, okay, so this is what you got to do for that. Okay, all right then. Then I know what to do.
Yep.
When I first started playing the game, I used to just drop cash on it.
Okay.
But after a while, I started realizing, oh God, like I really could farm for this stuff. So that's a really good thing. I really thank you very much for for being here, and I guess that's going to be it. Anybody you want to talk about your channel real quick, because I'm going to link that also below.
Oh yeah. Well, as far as my channel, I mean, hey, people already know what I'm doing as far as with my giveaway. I'm technically giving away 10,000 platinum. I got a whole bunch of people names as far as on this sheet. Well, I should say sheets of paper. All they have to do is put their name, the platform, obviously PS4, put PS4, my name is this, subscribe 20K subscribers, like, yo, I'm just gonna be doing the giveaway. I'm just gonna be giving away 10K platinum.
All right, you hear that, folks? 10K plats. That's a lot of money. I know I'm not gonna win it, but you know, you guys, you guys who need it out there, hey, hop in and enter that giveaway. But yeah, thank you very much, man. Thank you very much. And you have a good one.